in a lot of my classes, I will show people, I just say, really, because when you do arts, you have to understand how we see things. How we see things, right? So a lot of time, really, it's not exactly what you see. No. Or you see, but it's not what it is. That's why art is so intriguing. But, there's a lot of science in here, too. Like a lot of, not just science, but, social science, psychology. But if you know how to create something, you can really have much more a way of, convincing people.
Welcome to Vexet Art. This channel is dedicated to artists and teaching them skills. You might want to watch our discussion on colour interaction and how they relate to one another. Professor Yu will be leading the discussion. He has over 40 years of art experience. Before we start our discussion, we will go over a couple art term words. If you're already familiar with the terms such as colour temperature, colour intensity, and the word hue, you should probably skip ahead to the lecture. We hope you enjoy our discussion. Comments are welcome. The first word we will learn is hue. It is interchangeable with colour. That's pretty self-explanatory. The next word's intensity. It can be interchanged with saturation, and value can be interchanged with grayscale. Allow me to elaborate further into value. In the real world, lights can go as bright as the sun and as dark as a black hole. But in the physical world of paint, there are limitations. As an artist, you can only go as light as your white paper or titanium white or as dark as black. Value is when you take an image and pull all the colour out of it. When you desaturate it, you are left with a grayscale photo or painting. This is value. It's the light and dark of your image. Understanding that a single colour can come in many values becomes valuable knowledge as we begin to accentuate our paintings. One other important component of understanding value is realizing that surrounding values can affect our perception of what we see. Intensity, also called chroma or saturation, is the brightness or dullness of a color. A color, as we see it on a color wheel, is at full intensity bright. When we mix it with gray, black, or white, it becomes dull. Colors also lose intensity when mixed with their complement, the opposite color on the wheel. Complementary colors are pairs of colors which, when combined or mixed, cancel each other out or lose hue by producing a grayscale color like white or black. When placed next to each other, they create the strongest contrast for those two colors. Complementary colors may also be called opposite colors. Color temperature refers to how warm or cool a color is, depending on where it's situated on the color wheel. Colors in the yellow, orange, and red spectrum are warm, while colors in the green, blue, and violet spectrum are cool. Lighting and reflected light in the area you're painting will influence color temperature. Hues are the colors that are grouped together in relationship, on the color wheel to each other, for example. Blue is related to bluish green and bluish purple. We will elaborate more in this lecture. Let us begin.
Which one has the highest value?
Because it's the best color.
What do you mean the best color?
It's my favorite.
Wow, that have nothing to do with don't let that influence you, right? So yellow is the lightest one, which means highest value, okay? Sometimes you put them close together, easy to make a judgment, but when you look at it, sometimes you can just squint your eyes. Okay, so that's the thing. You don't look at yellow because it's so intense and so yellow, so it's high value. There's nothing to do with that. You make sure value is all about light and dark. Then what is the next one?
Orange.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Squint.
Is this one or orange? This one?
Orange.
It's debatable, right? But orange is much more intense. This is much muted, right? It's opaque. But when you put them side by side, then you can make a judgment. Do you see the boundary between them? You see it. Then you say, okay, which one's darker? Pink is darker. Then you decide, oh yeah, that confirmed my decision that orange is higher in value. Right? But sometimes it's really hard to tell. Okay, now, this one versus that one. The blue versus the pink. Which one's lighter?
Orange or the blue versus the pink?
Blue.
Oh, okay. The pink outline.
This is lighter or this darker?
Lighter.
Lighter. We all agree?
Agree.
It is. Right?
You just have to squint, like you said.
Yeah, squinting will help because what is squinting to do? In drawing class, I know some people are going to take my drawing class next semester, but when you're drawing class, when you squint, what do? You don't see as much details first. Another thing, when you squint, then you try to eliminate that strong presence of that hue. Okay, so if you do photography, anybody do photography?
Yeah.
No, you guys, nobody taking photography class?
Oh.
You should. So if you want to, of course, now the cell phone will do everything. So if you want to do black and white photography, I bet you see everything is colored. So how you determine that black and white is going to work out? Old days, you had to go to darkroom, you had to, because you use a film. But now you just do cell phone and say, I just get rid of all the intensity, and then they become, black and white. But a lot of photographers, they squint your eye, they don't see green anymore. They will see dark and light. So that's determining whether the black and white is going to work or not. So when you select the thing you want to take a shot, okay, so squinting is really helping. But a lot of times, I would just give. Okay, so this green, right, versus orange. Yeah, which one? You tell me which one lighter, which one darker.
Orange.
Well, orange is lighter. Yes. Okay. This one versus blue. Green versus blue. Green lighter? Very close, slightly lighter, but yeah, you're pretty good. How about purple versus green? Green lighter? Yeah. How about purple versus blue?
Oh no, yeah, I meant to say blue is better.
Purple lighter. Ooh. See, sometimes really hard to tell, right? But this one's more intense. But so don't look at the intensity because a lot of people say, oh, blue is more intense, so it got to be lighter. Or someone say, oh, purple has white, got to be lighter. Not necessary. Those can be put into your decision making, right? Those conditions. But you really have to look at it because this is really close. So when you place them, so these two are in the same line horizontally, then or similar, then it will be reasonable. But all of a sudden you look at something is too dark. You put these side by side, then it become problem. Because this is, of course, this is obvious. Sometimes people don't see it. Because you just see, oh, this is so intense. It's got to be lighter, pure, muted. No. Right? So that's why, sometimes it's squinting, but a lot of times this is the obvious one. But some are not quite as obvious. Then you have to really look at it and say, okay. This is easier, but something like this. heart. Right? Very close. Well, okay. If you don't see a obvious boundary when you squint your eye, you can see there's a totally different hue, right? So, but when you look at the darkened light, you squint your eye, you don't see there's a boundary line, obviously, separate them and become a. So when you use color, because this is our last lecture about the first phase, the next one will be color management, which is how, in practical sense, how you can use color in the real design situation. So when you select your color, put them next to each other, you have to be careful sometimes if you don't want a contrast. Okay, but sometimes if you want a contrast, you probably have to think about what kind of contrast you want, right? Here's a little hue difference. Maybe they're not a whole lot really the intensity contrast either, because they're kind of muted in different ways, right? There's not a value contrast. Then you can be into a awkward situation. Okay, we're going to talk about these later, after our next lectures. But so that's what important. So you got to make sure you have ability to make a good judgment about how you put color next to each other, what purpose those going to resolve. All right? Okay, now let's talk about color interaction. Okay? From now on, these things are a little kind of difficult, a little bit difficult. I'm saying difficult because it demands your kind of little thinking. There's certain kind of a scientific way, we call it linear thinking, logic thinking. How you do this in order to achieve that goal, right? So, what is color interaction?
The way that colors are placed together and how it will make us feel.
Yeah, make you feel sad, make you feel happy. Yeah, but say if, because I always ask people, I say, okay, I have this red color, right? It's kind of pure red. It's a primary, one of the primary color, right? And this outer tube is really just, you cannot make more red than that, right? But how can you make it redder? Do you add anything to it?
Put it next to a green.
That will make it redder? That'll make it redder?
I don't know. No. Redder.
You put orange next to it, make it redder? And so here's today's, we try to answer these questions, but not just by I'm saying it. I will show you how this interact. Because sometimes, almost like how you arrange colors, right? You put one color next to the other color, all of a sudden, the appearance that, both of them or one of them will kind of change. Okay? Like a human interaction too. Right? And then sometimes, people make you angry, but then one side of your aggressiveness will, become more present. Yes?
Well, I know, like, if you're trying to pull out the color of your eyes, make your eyes pop, then you wear clothes that have the same color.
Well, okay.
Oftentimes as your
Sometimes people say, okay, if you have blue eye, you wear a blue shirt. Because, eye is it's like a piece of glass in your body. Because it's the shiniest, smoothest surface than anywhere else. Your fingernail maybe is, but it's still not competing with. Your fingernail probably is second, especially when you polish it. But it's not, so that surface will reflect the surroundings. So you say, oh, where there's a highlight? Because the light will shooting there and then bounce, then you see the little highlight. But then a bounce is all the color of whatever, right? Even sky is blue. So if you wear a blue shirt, then the highlight will reflect. So then they will say, make your eye bluer. But that's not necessarily what we're going to talk about. So color interaction. Some are, some of these examples, you can tell colors are fading, but now gravity start working. Can you see the gravity working? You can witness it. So I have to stop it. Okay. So you look at these two colors, right? I want you to focus on the center. The center, because it's surrounded by different. So this one's surrounded basically kind of similar colors, right? You know, what is this hue? Well, hue. You say tan is color.
Yeah, I was like, what is that?
Yellow hue, right? Yellow hue. Okay. So this one, what is the difference? Describe verbally. Articulate. What is appearance? Huh?
One's more vibrant.
One more vibrant. Vibrant can be different meanings. More intense. Okay. What else?
One on the right looks like it's muted. The middle square.
This one?
No, one on the right.
Oh, the right. Okay. All right. Beside that, just describe the difference or similarity.
Well, they're both the same color. Or hue.
They're same hue, right? No doubt about it. Not one is green, one is yellow, one is pink, one is yellow, right? But they look different, right?
The one in purple is lighter than the white one.
The look value is lighter, higher. Okay, so you see a lot of differences, right? But basically, these two, exactly the same. Because when you do this, let me see, how can I? But you see how appearance can fool you, right? Because how they interact with their surroundings. Do you see it? So, but when you look at it this way, you say, wait a minute, they're different colors. Even though they're same hue, but different colors. So that's what we're talking about, color interaction. So fascinating. Because the reason we learn colors is to try to find a way that we can manipulate them. So we can use them for whatever our purpose. Okay? Then sometimes we're adding things. We call it mixture, right? But sometimes you don't have to add things. You can manipulate it, right? So like you wanted this appear to be lighter. You say, I don't have to add white in there anymore, right? Then all of a sudden you have more way to deal with the situation. Okay? So of course, this is reversed. This is a reversed situation. Do you see the reverse? Even though it's fading, do you see how it faded? How many years I've been using these? Do you see how it fades? Okay. So, but this you can say is kind of purplish, right? So this is purple, this is purple. But this one appear to be what? More intense, appear to be pure, right? And this one appear to be more muted. So, but Robert will say, they're exactly the same. They are, but they look different, right? It pretty convincingly, obviously different. But there's really, there's no white added into it. It just only surrounded by. So what is the conclusion? So if you want something appear to be lighter than it is, what do you do?
Put something dark next to it.
Yes.
It's like a contrast.
So if you want something lighter, you put a darker color surround it. If you put someone appear to be darker than it is, then you put a lighter color surround it or next to it without adding any pigment to manipulate. Okay? So here, what's the conclusion? Yeah. How you do it? How you do it? You want them more intense. Let me give you some other examples. I got a whole bunch of it. So.
Higher value.
Let me just find the. Hold on, let me.
So you want your red and you put it on green background.
Well, sometimes it's sometimes it's probably 2 things or 3 things in there. Okay, so if you want something more, let's just talk about our properties. Relate to our properties. Okay, so here is value, right? So you know how to manipulate values. If you want something appear to be darker, you surround it by lighter color. You want something to be lighter, you surround by darker color. That's very easy, simple, right? The logic, clear? All right, so that values. Then intensity. Another property, right? So what do you want to do intensity? If you want the color more intense, you use less intense color surrounded?
Another intense color
Okay. All right. So this probably we cannot conclude. All right. So how about temperature?
Warmer, can you put something cooler by it? So if you want something more intense, you put something muted by it. Okay, I'll keep trying.
Okay. Yeah. So the problem is intensity. We cannot agree. Okay. Let's talk about temperature. Christina said, if you want something appear to be cooler, what do you do? Yes. If you want something appear to be warmer, then you put cool things. Well, let's just use this 2 examples. Temperature. Let's just talk about temperature, right?
Wait, I do need a bit of a refresher. What would you do if you want to add value to it?
Okay. If you want something appear to be lighter, what do?
You add like a
Don't add. When you say you're adding, almost like you're talking about mixing it.
Yeah, we're not talking about mixing.
We're not talking about mixing.
Pick a color and you want
We talk about purely using how color interact to each other. So if you want to be lighter, Liam, you want to be color appear to be lighter, then what do? You use a darker color to surround it,
Oh, thank you.
right? If you reverse it, you want something to be darker, appear to be darker, then you want a lighter color surround it. Make sense? Then you create this, contrast, and then they appear to be. But really, we didn't add any white into it. Right? So look at these two. One is appear to be greener. So temperature-wise, it means what? One appeared. Okay, look at this. Okay, describe them.
The inside green,
Yeah, only look at the inside.
the one with the green background, the inside looks bluer.
Okay.
And the one with the blue background inside looks greener.
Okay. So temperature-wise, which one's warmer? Which one's cooler? Talk about center, because sometimes you say background. Yeah, let's just talk about center part. The green one is warmer because it contains a little bit, right? So that's how you use interaction to manipulate temperature.
But they're both the same color, correct? Or same hue? It's just the background itself.
They're not just the same hue, they're exactly the same color too.
Okay.
Yeah, because, but you see how different they look? But when you, that's crazy, right?
It's a cool thing. That's
Yes,
cool.
but a lot of time, see how the color can be manipulated? But it can totally change. So temperature value is easy. Dark, make a light one lighter, and the light will make the color darker appear. So temperature is easier. You just do the reversed, right? So cooler surrounding make it warmer. The warmer surrounding make it cooler. Those are easier to understand. Correct? Let's go back to intensity. How about intensity?
Well, I'm seeing the ones that are. Okay.
Let me try to find, and if I can find it. I should have it.
Blue with the orange is most common.
Yeah, this one probably a little bit more obvious. Probably help you to solve that problem. So intensity is not just go to reversed. Dark make it lighter, light make it light darker. And this cool make thing appear to be warmer, warm will make things appear to be cooler. So that's easy to understand. Just intensity, on the other hand, is different. It's not muted color make the intense color more intense make it Do you see this? Yeah. So this red, this pink. Yeah. So this is like you add white to it. Doesn't it appear to be?
Yes.
Very obvious, right? But when you look at it, actually they're same. You say, this is crazy. Right? So what happened? So this is surrounded by what? Complementary. And this surrounded by what? Monochromatic. So you see here is tricky. All right? So this logic is, if you use red, surround the same color, you use the monochromatic, same family, actually reduce the intensity, minus. So if I say, okay, I got this blue, it's too intense, but I still need that intensity, but I don't want it to make it too intense. What am I going to do to reduce the intensity of blue?
You can use a different warm color, like yellow.
See here,
Some more blue around that.
don't think about warm. Liam immediately say, see, then you mix temperature with intensity. Don't go there, okay? Christina,
We put another
Blue.
blue around it and it will pull the intensity down.
The same hue will reduce the intensity. The opposite hue will increase intensity. Make sense? So opposite hue is complementary. Monochromatic is the same hue. So
Do you have to worry about intensity and stuff with that?
what do you mean?
If you're trying to make your green more intense.
Yeah.
And you put a red there because
Yeah.
that's a complementary.
Yes.
Do you have to worry about the value or temperature at all, or no, not so much? Maybe a little.
You don't have to worry about it, but you say it will affect the temperature of value? Sometimes it do. Because if you put a yellow and purple, they're complementaries, right? So when you look at that yellow appear to be more intense on the left. So not only appear to be lighter, but appear to be more intense because the difference between these couple, because they have the exceptionally high value contrast. So you can achieve both. You can increase the intensity, increase the value at the same time, right? So a lot of time is, like later we're going to go back to those two again. So you look at it and say, okay, so the intensity, the logic is a little different. You want to opposite the hue to make it more intense. You want to same hue to make it less intense. Almost like the red will suck the red out.
Well, how would you explain temperature?
Temperature, if you want to appear to be warmer, you want a cool color next to it or surround it. So basically, coolest color is blue, right? So everything surrounded by blue, green will appear to be yellower. Purple will appear to be redder. Make sense? And the red maybe appear to be a little orangier because the blue will increase that temperature. So almost like you add yellow or red to whatever is in the middle. Okay? So if you want to reverse it, you want something appear to be cooler, you want a warm color surround it. So a lot of time you use orange to surround it. So that blue tint will come out. The blue in the purple will come out more, so it appear to be cooler. The blue in the green will come out, so it appear to be cooler. Do you understand? And then, the intensity is tricky part. Because we automatically think about muted color will show more intensity, not necessary. It will show a little bit, but not strong enough to make it like, oh my God, that red is just glowing. You see that red against the green? That's what we call the simultaneous contrast because that's a hue contrast. So you look at that red against the green background, surrounded by green, it's like, and the other one is so weak. How dramatic that is, right? But exactly they're saying. Okay, so now if I give you a question in the quiz or anything, I'll just ask you a question. I say, I wanted the green to be warmer. How many ways can you do it? Put yellow in it.
You put it next to blue, and blue would make the green.
Here we go. Then you have more than just add yellow. Do you see it? But you have to include that yellow is another way to do it. Just add yellow. But if you say, I don't want, a lot of situation, you don't want to put anything in there. Because you put something in there, they're going to alter other things. A lot of times you say, I don't want it. But how can I make it happen? Then you use color interaction. Yeah.
So green to be warmer, you put yellow, or you
Use a cooler color surrounded,
color surrounded.
which is blue, right? Then the yellow, see the yellow content, we're going to talk a little bit more about that because I want you to follow me because I say this is a little tricky Sometimes our brain, your cognition immediately think about something. And then you say, that's it. Okay? But cognition is a funky thing that you got to make sure you allow yourself to unlock your first decision and try to see other possibilities otherwise. Because if I say, make it green, warmer, first thing you think about, add yellow. Because that's how you think that's it. But if you don't allow yourself to say, oh, wait, there's other ways, in addition. So you have to make sure, allow yourself to go to that second one. Don't lock yourself up. Then you're not going to move.
Would purple make it more warmer?
What do you mean?
Like if you were,
Is a purple going to make a green yellow warmer? That's what you're saying? Is purple going to make a green warmer? Okay, it depends on what kind of purple. If it's a bluish purple, maybe. It depends on how much blue content in there, but it's not as effective as blue alone. Because purple contains what? Red. Purple contains red too. Right? Can purple make a green greener? Yes? How? Purple contains red, right? But if you have reddish purple, that may make green greener. But if you have a bluish purple, may not as effective because the red is the complementary of the green. So that it depends on how much red content in the purple. Sometimes tricky. You know, if you use pure opposite hue, that's a simpler. But you use somewhat, you say, okay, is orange going to make a green greener? It depends, right? If it's yellowish orange, I don't know, maybe make green a little bluish. But it's reddish orange, yeah, maybe green will be. So that's what the complication comes to play. A lot of times it's not that easy. You say, okay, 1 + 1 = 1. So far, you following me? We're going to get a little more complicated than this. But value and temperature is easiest way. You just do the opposite. Right? Dark make light lighter, light make light darker. Whatever. Warm make things cooler. Cool surrounding make things warmer. I'm talking about the center. I'm not talking about you use the surrounding to change the center, right? But intensity is opposite hue, complementary, make the center more intense. Monochromatic, make the center more muted. Okay? So if I say, how can you mute the red? How many ways you mute red? Lot. I can add red, white in there. I can add gray in there. I can add brown in there. I can add anything is intensity is lower than the red. You probably can lower the intensity. But I say, how can you make a red less intense without adding anything to it? Yeah, surrounded by another red. Very good. Make sense? At this point, everybody? Castro? Make sense? Everybody? So we clear, all right? So what property left? So we can manipulate 3 properties now, right? Which one left? Hue. Can we change the hue? We can change value. We can change temperature. We can change intensity. Can we change hue? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can we? Possibility. Without mixing. You don't think so? Look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah, like green.
Green become blue, blue become green, right?
yeah.
Can you manipulate the hue? Yes, but difficult. There are certain conditions apply. Okay? But you see that these two different hues, they're not the same hue. Appear to be. Blue, green, right? So, but this is, I would say, greenish blue. It's not blue blue, it's greenish blue. This is bluish green. But you see there are different hues. But when you put it together, you say, okay, they're all green. Do you see it? But you made this blue. So what is the condition to make this possible? You have to find the color right at the border. So you have to find the bordering colors, which means the colors almost like right there, you can cross over and then become something else. If it's a pure green and pure blue, you try to change them, impossible. Okay? You can only change when they are kind of close. Even though they're different hue, but they're kind of close. Say if it's purplish red and reddish purple. They're two different hues, right? Purplish red is red hue. Reddish purple is purple hue. But because they're close, then you can manipulate it.
So you, on the hues, you can manipulate a color to look like an analogous color if you put the
Yeah.
color on the other side of it to kind of push it. Does that make
She liked that one. Okay, but sometimes it's a little tricky. Well, probably let's just take a break. Because I want you to refresh your, because it's a little, you say how, okay. Because when we come back, we talk about how to make it happen. Even, because you're gonna do it. Okay, so how to make it happen? Sometimes is, there's kind of a, you say, when you do mathematics, there's a formula, right? There's an equation, right? What plus this minus that, times what, divide by what, then equal what. So here we get a little kind of close to that because you have to say, yeah, how can I make this purple become blue? Or the blue become purple? What I have to do? Right? There's a lot of equation, but the equation is not like mathematical exact. There's always a room to play because every time you mix color, where you put color, it's different. So if this purple, as you say, I want to use this purple for the surroundings to make whatever the center change. But that purple, surrounding purple, how much blue is in there, how much red is in there, will make quite a difference. It's fascinating, but what I'm trying to tell you is how can you make that happen? Because when you look at the board, you say, no way, that's different color. But when you look at it, oh my God, they're the same, exactly the same. But they look so different, right? So you see how color is so tricky? A lot of times what you see is really not what exactly, but how that, almost like they can camouflage it. Then you don't see the true face. But then you learn how to use it. Then you have more tools. So that's the purpose. Okay? Let's take a break, and then we try to figure out that formula. So how we achieve that? Okay, how we achieve this? So let me just put this, because now we know this is pretty convincing, right? You say, no way, they're totally different. No way. So let's just recreate this. Then I will talk about this formula. Okay, so this is the surroundings, and this is surroundings. So this. So when you look at these two, right? This is so green. This is blue. Do you see it? And when you look at it, they all kind of a bluish green. So that's basically their true color. True, quote unquote, relative sense, right? So how can we make appear to be different hue? Okay, so what you need to do is try to pull these far apart. Do you understand? Because they're farther apart, then they become so different. And then they become different hue. Even though, but first you have to know they're border colors. They're bordering colors. Either use greenish blue or use bluish green. Those are easy to manipulate. Don't use blue, blue, green, green. Right. So here, first, you have to think about this one, you want to be as green as possible. This one, you want to be as blue as possible. Right? So what is in the green? So that's the green. Right? So now, you have to make this appear to be more green. You have to make this appear to be more blue so they can stretch out. Do you get me so far? Okay. So now, how can we make it more green? Of course, you say, I can mix yellow into it. Now,
Yellow at the background, like behind it.
how can you make it more green? More green.
Right, so we are mixing something with it?
Huh? Blue. You want to... Okay, so when you emphasize the blue, you basically... Well, you use the blue, actually... Do you remember the intensity? How you make a red less red? Surrounded by red. How can you make this less? You want to make it more green, means less blue. Right? Then the yellow part will show more. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so if green equal 50%, blue plus 50% yellow.
Wanting it to be like 70% yellow, 30%.
Yes, you wanna make this one, you wanna minus blue. Then it become more green because this is a bluish green. You want to minus it. You want to take that. You want to take this out. Then green. So how can you take a blue out? What are you going to take a blue out? What are you going to suck the blue out? Use the blue to take the blue content out. Because you know the red will take the red content out more. Do you understand that? Make sense? Make sense? It's okay. We slowly get there. It's all right. Do you understand, everybody, at this point? Because your purpose is to take this bluish green, make it just green. So now bluish or less bluish. But how you're going to decrease the blue content or appearance? You want to use other blues or blue in general. Just like red can take red out. Blue will take the blue out. So you want this background to be somewhat blue. Okay? Make sense? At this point?
So are we doing two things at the same time? Because it seems like we were talking about the green in the middle and decreasing the blue in that, and then the background being blue, so that it will pull the blue out.
Yes. The background, okay. The background is surrounded by this blue. Then whatever the blue content in there won't take out. Because this blue. Just like because this red, the red content in the center will take it out. Certain amount. Christina, so in order to take the blue content out of this bluish green, you need a blue to make it less blue.
But you're still putting the blue green in the middle?
It's still the same in the middle.
Okay.
But your purpose is make this
Look more.
less blue.
Right.
So you have to use the blue to take the less blue. Make sense? Gil?
Yep.
Everybody? Mackenzie? How can you make green more green?
Blue?
More green.
Well, blue, you take the blue. Blue will make, okay,
Green, more green.
complementaries.
So you do red.
You do red,
Red.
right? So the red can make green greener. So that's what you have to add something into it.
Oh, okay.
So that's why you do purplish blue. Because purple contain red. You cannot do reddish blue. There's no such a thing as reddish blue. Do you understand? Because they're not really neighboring. What is they talk about neighboring hues. Okay? So you do purplish blue, that's what this purplish blue. So when you have reddish content, certain percent, it may be 20%. If you're adding into it, then you subtract the blue, then you're using some reddish content in here, then the green becomes stronger. So you do minus and you do plus. You do one to decrease the blue content, and then you need the other thing to make green become greener.
So can we try it with another color, like say you want to...
Okay, yeah, we go through this, then I will give you other examples. So you can be really clear that part. It's a little tricky. Do you understand me?
It's a complementary.
I'm a little lost.
Yeah, I know. You're not alone. It's okay. I will go slowly go through again. So,
If I want to make green more green,
yeah,
okay, I can add red, but I can.
not add.
but
Surrounded by
surrounded
next
by
by
red.
red.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Surrounded
but
by-
in this case, you cannot really do red only. You can try red, but red may not be as efficient. You try red, it's blue. You see how blue that look?
Yeah.
So the first thing you have to do is take the blue. Secondary, then you add red content. Now, I'm not saying add red. You use red surrounding, reddish. In this case, reddish means purple because the blue is being set. The first your strategy is blue. Then you're adding a little bit red content, which is purple, into the blue. So they contain some amount of red in there. Do you understand that? So the red will make the green greener. The blue will make whatever the blue content less blue.
So you have to use colors that border each other
Yeah,
to make this work. And
Yes.
So then the only way that you could get a red hint going in that is you can't use the red. You have to put the red.
because there's
one
no,
of the
yeah,
borders.
because your blue background is set. Had to be blue background.
Right.
But what kind of blue?
You're right, all right. So
Had to be purple. It's not greenish blue. Because if you do greenish blue, the green become less. So you have to do reddish, so purplish blue.
Okay.
Make sense? You, no, sometimes you get lost. Because this is, right? The reason I use that, at least you can see them. If I just do this, then see, like do purplish red. So far, purplish red is in here, purplish red is in here, right? You know they're the same. But this one, I want to be more red, and this one, I want to be more purple. So you know they are all the same as purplish red. So how can you take purple out of that in here? Because you want to, see this is purplish red, this red, purplish red, right? So you wanted this purple to disappear to a certain amount. Then you use purple to suck the purple out. So that's your first decision. Make sense? Just like that. You want a blue out of that, you want a blue background, blue surrounding to take the blue out. Okay, so that's the first decision you have to make. Okay, then how can you make red become redder? Can you use reddish purple? Because reddish purple, we're going to take a red out, so you don't want that. So at this point, you have to use, but you cannot really put the green in the purple.
Okay, so purple, more purple. Green purple,
Bluish purple.
bluish purple. Oh, okay.
At this point, because you really cannot making, it just depends how. But sometimes you say, okay, because this is tricky because everybody in this classroom mix a bluish purple will be different.
Yeah.
No. So then you have to say how blue it should be, how purple it should be.
So bluish purple will make the center more red?
Yeah, well, yeah, because that's only your choice rather than use the reddish purple.
Yeah.
Make sense? So you subtract something, but you have to say, I take the blue out, but can I make that even more green? So you want to find any way to enhance that green. So that's what you try to do, this kind of thing. Yeah. But I know it's complicated, but it's okay. We're going to do a few more things, then you can get used to it. Then you can figure out the way. But this is basically, so your first step and your second step. Okay? Now look at this. So this one is bluish green, right? This bluish green. But you wanted the blue out. Then it become green. So this one you want a green out to be blue. When you look at this, you see here, okay, here definitely is green. But you cannot do bluish green. Do you understand? Because you want to become very blue. If you use a bluish green, then blue would be taken out. So only choice you do is yellowish green. But how much yellow? Probably the yellower you get, the blue you have. Basically, this one is, because, once again, green equal 50%, da, da, da. So when you have this yellow background, yellow-green background, the more yellow you appear to be more 80%, then it will be 20%.
So if you had 80% yellow, you'd get more blue in the middle.
Yes.
Whereas if you get 50-50, it would be in blue.
Green will take the green out, right? The yellow-green will take more green out, leave the blue more. Okay? Okay, look in here. I'll just repeat that question, but different colors. So here you want to take the red out. So this background should be what? Red. Right? What kind of red? Orange is red. Very good. Now purple red. Orange is red. Then the orange contain yellow. Then to make it purple. Purpler. Make sense? So your first decision is use whatever the thing you want to take out. Okay. Let me change. We'll see you follow.
It's a complementary color, though, right, that you're using.
Well, you really cannot find exact complementary.
Okay.
You can only find, so first you use the monochromatic to take that thing out, right? So if this one is, let's just change, bluish purple. So this is bluish purple in here, this is bluish purple in here. Just follow me, okay? So this one, I wanted this to get out. This one, okay, this one, I want blue to get out. Bluish purple, bluish purple. Do you see here? So you want one become purple, one become blue. Okay, so what are you going to do here? Blue. Take the blue out, so the blue will sack out.
I'm gonna put green in, green now, or
Green contain what?
Yellow, blue.
Right? So you have the blue, take the blue out, then this yellow content will make the purple what? Purpler. Because you cannot do the yellowish blue. So greenish blue is close. Do you understand that? Make sense? Yeah. Okay, this one you want a purple background. So they'll take the purple out. Right? The purple will suck the purple out. You cannot do bluish purple. Reddish purple.
Right.
There's no exact complementary here. Here have some complementary content, but here you don't have, at least you don't want to go to bluish purple. So reddish purple will be a logic selection. Make sense? Make sense? However, sometimes you can go a little farther. If you say, Robert, is not working, then what is it? Say like here, the blue is not quite as blue. Okay? So you say, Robert, this is not working. Then you may go to next possibilities. Because I said everybody makes this reddish purple is different. Then what is the next possibility, logically? There's no orange is purple. Yeah. So you can try, it's still this range, you just switch their place. You can try this as your alternate.
What percentage?
That's really hard, because how can you know what percentage? We mix. You don't even know. We cannot measure it. We're not like scientific, way or lab. You put it. Only you can do is before they're mixing into paint, you just get a pigment. Pigment is powder, right? So that's what manufacturers making. They make a powder, they make a liquid, they mix together. The liquid can be oil, can be just acrylic, it's glue. See how complicated it can be? I don't know. Let me see. Let me find other things. Huh? But sometimes things can, I give you a formula, but a lot of times it's like this, right? So this appears to be more red. So you say this is red hue, this is purple hue. You see that, right? But, okay. So this is a little different in the situation. Because center is, of course we say reddish purple, right? This reddish purple, this purplish red. Okay, so how to make it redder, less purple? So here basically use a greenish blue, sort of, not purplish blue. Do you see that? Do you see that? The surrounding? It's a blue, but it's not purplish blue, it's greenish blue. So the blue will take the blue content out of that purple. And then the green will make the redder. So that's easier to understand. Do you see that? Do you see that? Okay. If you use a purplish blue, that's not going to work. So you have to use a greenish blue, because the blue will take the purple content, the blue part out. Because purple equal blue plus red, questionable red. Well, forget it, basically. So as long as you can take this out, then what's left? Red. Or larger proportion red there, right? Then the green will show red more. So this is easier to understand, but you can see it, right? But they're the same. They're the same. They look different. So how about this one? So this one, you want to make it purple, so you want to take the red out. So of course you have a red first, but what kind of red? Orangish red. Because the yellow part of this orange make it purple. So you take something out, you add something. Okay? What happened? Yeah. At this point, are we together? Hard. I know hard. I know it's really hard. Yeah.
I understand, but
Yeah, but when you start doing your assignments, then you really have to do it right to figure it out. Because I can give you, so this formula is a rough formula.
I feel like this one's the one I'm gonna probably set up a meeting with you.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so like you are, okay, so you like to go hiking, right?
Yes.
Pretend for them.
Pretend. Okay, especially in the summer, you said, oh my God, it's so hot. You know, 115 degrees for like how many, 30 days in a row. And then you say, I'm going to go a little bit north, you know, like White Mountains, there's a lot of nice forest. And you go there, you get lost. Because the forest look all the same. Right? So what do you have? You have a compass. I don't know, you know how to use a compass. Actually, you have to get a map. But what a compass can do, it tell you at least the directions. Or your phone. Do you have a compass? You know there's a compass in here. Well, you can set a app to give you a compass. Well, yeah, you can work without cell phone service. Yeah, well, this compass is not really the GPS. Sometimes, when you don't have a cell phone service you don't. But you have a handheld, they won't tell you this route, but they will tell you direction because sometimes in the woods, you don't even know where's east. I start from the north, so I have to go north, but I don't even know where north is. Sometimes you can see, there's other survival skills. You can see, look at tree barks, you can look at the sun, or if you cannot see the sun, it's a cloudy day. You're really doomed, right? So the compass will give you the direction, but not give you exactly which route to go. So here I give you this, basically I hand you a compass. You figure out that's the direction, north, but how to get the north, then you have to figure, but at least you know that's the direction I'm gonna go. Make sense? It's not that easy. I'm not, that's why I warned you, this last time I said it better.
When I get to putting my paints together.
Yeah. Yes, you can figure out, but you have to put it together. You figure out. Oh my God, it's just like, are you kidding me? All right, let's do another one. I'll just do a few more, then you get a little sense out of it. It's okay. Don't be frustrated.
Can we do one that's like a primary color instead of one that's...
You can't do primary color. You have to do bordering colors.
Okay,
That's the only one condition you can make the hue change. You get a pure red and pure green, forget about it.
okay.
All right, so you have to do bordering, right? You go to Nogales and then you say, here we go. Well, probably southern border. In the northern border, a lot of towns, so like the post office, there's one town in the north. The post office, so you go, this half of the post office is in the US. The other side of the post office in Canada. So when you, one foot on one side, then you're, neither. So when you choose the color, you have to find those border colors because they're just easier to do. Okay. Okay, we'll do red, orange. All right. Red, orange. Red, orange. All right, so inside they're exactly the same. The way I put it, I wanted this to become orange, this become red. Okay? So how are you making this become more orange? You're going to take something out. What are you going to take out? You're going to take the red out. Right? So this part, you want to take the orange out. So let's just put these background rough direction set. Right? Then what kind of red? Purple red. Very good. Because that purple contains blue. So the blue is opposite orange. To make orange become orangier. That's the logic, right? Correct? You follow me? Make sense? Red because your purpose is take this out, so the orange will stay. So it appear to be more orange. So you have to use the red background, surrounding. What kind of red? You want a purplish red. Then the blue content, blue plus red, right? So red will take a red out anyway. And the blue content make orange, orangier, because they're the complementaries. So that's how you draw your conclusion. Okay. That's clear, easy, right? So this side is orange. What kind of orange? You cannot use red. So only way leave you is yellow-orange. But this time, because there's no complement, then you can try orange-yellow too. See how that's going to work.
Can you repeat that last?
Okay, so because this is reddish, you want to take the orange out, right? So you have to use orange.
Right.
So the orange had to be here. So the orange will be less, right? So you cannot use a red orange. Because red is going to take the red out, then you didn't do anything. So you do yellow orange. Sometimes if yellow orange is not working, you just switch it, become orange yellow.
And that's just an eyeball thing on your.
That is just as your alternatives, plan B, second plan B. Because every time you do, it will never give you exactly because this will be different, you mix, right? And then this will be different, this will be, so you really have to try it.
So yellow-orange and orange-yellow are different in a way.
You're right. But if yellow-orange is not working, you can try a orange-yellow, see whether they're going to work.
See that? Can you make a C yellow, orange, yellow?
I don't have this example here, but you don't have to do. Really, easiest thing to do is green. Green is blue. Blue is green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would say don't beat yourself up. Do something too complicated. Purple is easier too because you can see how the purple become red, and then so these are kind of a. This is probably the more commonly people using how to do it. But for this assignment, I would just say try it. You know, when you really get into it, then you do a whole bunch yourself. You say, hey, I made this happen. I made this happen. You can always come here, show me whenever you can. But, you know, challenge yourself whenever. I mean, just for your own sake. Why not? Say, how many ways can manipulate? You say, I can change the hue. I can make this, because when I first put in there, you never thought that's the same. Because they look different. Or those, you know, they look so different. But you say, yeah, I can change it. That's blue, that's green. So, actually, this is still easier, and I will give you a. So what happened is I give you two different hues. I give you a. Okay, listen here. If I give you a, we start from there, easier. I give you a bluish green and a greenish blue. They're two different hues, right? So I want you to manipulate it. So this one is greenish blue, right? This one is bluish green. You know, one is green, one is blue. But I want you to use your surroundings to make them appear to be identical. You know what I'm saying? Now I want, because what we did is identical paint look different.
Right.
Different hues, right? Now I said, okay, this is two different hues. Even though they're bordered, but I want you to make them to be identical.
You're doing the opposite of what we
Well, yeah, so how are you going to be identical? You have to make the blue become less blue and the green become less green. So they be closer together. Before we wanted to separate them. Now I want you to make it. So they have to be same darkness, same intensity, same hue. That is harder to do.
It sounds like you're doing magic.
Yeah, sounds like I asked you to do something can never be done. Yes, you can do it. If you do yellow, orange, orange, yellow, you can do it. People try different things along all these years. Some people did a really good job, but it's really hard. But if you can do both ways, then you really understand how to do it. So that's why I'm saying this is a little kind of mathematical, kind of a little bit, right? Your thinking is a little different. Value is easy to do. Temperature is easy to do. Intensity, you have to think a little bit. Hue, you think a lot to achieve. That's all I can give to you at this point.
I have a question.
Yeah.
on the topic.
Yeah.
How old is that purple paper in there?
How old that purple paper is there? Probably 25 years. Older than you. I mean, but it's a funny thing because you just put it in the office. There's not like you put on the sun, all of the sun, just let it stay there for like 2 days. No, there's no rain. But somehow how they process, I mean, it's just a fade. You know, the funny thing is, when I did a lot of pen and ink drawings, right? When I was in graduate school. And then 10 years later, I look in the drawing, it become totally different. Because one of the pen I used, the ink, totally gone. Gone, I mean, disappeared. It's not just turned brown, because a lot of the black ink will turn brown with age. But that one disappeared. So it's white. So I have a white paper, right? And then you look and say, wait a minute, looks different. This is not my drawing. It's my drawing, but it just like subtracted. So it's a funny thing that things will happen. You know, these papers just put in my shelf. I take it out every year. And I look like that. You know, see how it's just crazy.
Museum quality.
Yeah, if you use acid-free archival, then it will fade-free.
And that's why when you go to museums, it seems kind of dark or.
You know, I used to work in the museum, so yes, because basically we have to get a meter and go, because a lot of these lights, incandescent light, they contain UV. So a lot of they have a layer glass put over the light to filter it out, and then we have to use the UV meter to measure it. And you have the climate control, temperature control, UV control. Yeah. Otherwise, these things gonna fade. They just fade slower. But if you don't do this controls, they're gonna fade like, you know, because a lot of those paintings, like, you know, 500, 700, 800-year-old. But you know, when you do fresco, which is mural, in the church they call it fresco, right? So that's why it faded. So, like Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo's thing, they have to refinish it. All of a sudden, the color becomes so vivid.
Oh, yeah, it's like the Roman statues, those are all painted. It just
Yeah.
all paints came
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. A lot of the statues like that. Okay. All right. Let me just give you the assignment so you can go home and try to figure things out. Whew. I know it's hard. But this paper faded a little bit too. These are all faded. But that one, it faded like old pair of jeans, right? It's like stone washed, but it's nature. Yeah,
And it was an art book, if I can get this situation. I found in between one of the pages was somebody's old essay from like the 1960s.
wow, yeah.
It was super old. I like finding stuff like that.
Well, let me get a black one. So your title, color, interaction. Okay, and so we do the properties. So first is value. That's really easy to do. Second, I will do temp. Third, I will do intensity. Third, I will do hue 1 and hue 2. Okay, do you see the whole format I give you? So this one, basically, you just make, I will suggest you use yellow in the center. So the first 4, you all do identical ones, but appear to be different. So when you do a patch, you do 2, and you cut them, and then you put in the center. Do you understand? So you want to do value. So this one will be high value, but you understand high, I'm talking about the center. You want to manipulate the center. Okay, so this had to be lighter, this would be darker. By the surrounding change. Okay, so basically, how are you going to make it this green? Say it's this green. How are you making this green appear to be lighter? You're surrounded by what? Value. How do you make this green appear to be lighter? So it'll be darker any color, as long as it's darker. Because that's the easy one, right? So dark, dark, dark. So this one, same green, you want to appear to be darker, low value. So you want to do what? Any color lighter than that. The lightest you can. Then the green one. So you do yellow, then probably that's the lightest color, right? Then the green will appear to be darker. So that's easy one, right? Oh, shoot. Now I'm going out of the space. I'll just make this smaller. Sorry. But you know what I'm saying. Temperature. Identical in the middle. You want this one become warmer. This one become cooler. The center. Okay? So you don't want to do anything orange or blue in the center, because they're already very hot, very cold. Right? So you can choose like green, purple, red, yellow maybe, but but I will probably not go into yellow. So you want this one appear to be warmer, then you're surrounded by what? Cooler color. What is the coolest color? Blue. This one you want to make it become cooler. Then you surround by warm color. Which one is the warmest? Orange. Then that's it. That's how you achieve it. So simple. Dark, make it lighter. Light, make it darker. Cold blue, make it warmer. Warm orange, make it cooler. Intensity. Find whatever intensity you want to do. But this time is what? This one will be high. This one will be low. How you do high? How you make it high? Complementary. Right? How you make this low? Mono. Make sense? Okay.
The center to be the same color again.
Identical.
So all four, the centers are all the same color.
No. You don't want them all the same color. You say, oh, I do green. You try to get a little variety.
This is complementary, right, in the highway?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's what we talk about. Comp make the other color more intense. Mono make the color less intense. Red, green make red redder. Red make red less. Okay? Orange make orange less. Orange make blue more. Right? Yellow make purple more. Yellow make yellow less. Purple make yellow more. Purple make purple less. Here one. Find a bordering color, most likely greenish blue, bluish green. You want to change the hue. You want one become blue, one become green. One become blue, one become purple. One become orange, one become red. Do you understand? However you choose. Probably easier just do that or do this. Yeah, just do that first. And then you say, okay, I will try more the trick. Can I do it? You know, challenge yourself, then you can do it. See, and then you can show your boyfriend, girlfriend, you show your mom and dad. Say, hey, mom, what is going on here? Right? And you can play a little video game with your dad. You say, what do you see here? They will say, yeah, this is this. They say, look, they're same, or they're different. All right. Hue 2 is the most difficult one. So your formula will be like this. Center. Okay. Then you have this two side by side. So this one, so this is a 1, this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 2. So you want these two identical. Do you understand? Okay, I will enlarge it. This is an enlarged version of it. So this is hue 2. Okay? So this one, I would say A and A, B and B. So these two are different colors, but they're bordering colors. Say, if this one is purplish red, and this one's reddish purple, do you see it? So this will be purplish red, reddish purple. So these two have to be identical, these two have to be identical. That's how you place them. Okay, you want this side by side, no gap. Your job is to make in the center look exactly the same.
No.
So this, you don't have to make it the same. So this, you tell me there are different hues. But this, you totally change appearance, make them like same, identical. Very hard. Very hard. But if you do it right, I give you 50 more points.
So then,
Okay, everybody. If you do the Hue 1 correct, I give you 50 more points. So if you get a full point, you get 150 points. Of course, you're not gonna. I won't award 50, 150 points. So, Christina, you talk to Pamela. Try to explain. So if you do the Hue 1 correct, you get 50 extra points.
On Q1 or
Hue 2. So this assignment, the full scale is 150.